Now we need to develop the application. If I want to develop the application, first I need to set up the environment. We already know how to set up the environment. Environment how to set up. We need to create a React project, right? So here steps is what? We need to create a React project. Create a React.js project. First step. How to create a React.js project? Go to your workspace. In the command prompt level, you need to give the command npx space create react app space. For example, my application is counter app. You can give anything or Redux example, whatever you want, you can give. That is the first step. Second step is what? Switch to the project location. I hope everyone is audible. My voice is clear. Please confirm. cd space counter app.
Yes, sir.
Right. This is the way you are going to move. So your counter app. This is the way it is going to get the command prompt. Next, we need to install Redux library. That is the third part. It's not part of the React. That's why install Redux, 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 React Redux library. How to install? Command prompt level. We need to give the command npm install Redux. You need to install and React Redux. Two libraries you need to install. Instead of going to writing some tutorials level, npm install space Redux, one command. Again, npm install React-Redux. Instead of going to writing the multiple lines, I'm writing here only one single line. npm install space Redux. That is the one library. Redux, React-Redux. That is another kind of library. Okay. So these two libraries, one single statement through we are installing. This is the way we need to do that one. Understood? This is the way we are going to create in the project structure. After that, you need to open the project into the VS Code. Open the project into VS Code. For that purpose, you need to use counter-app. We need to provide the code space dot. This is the way you are going to set up the environment. Next, you need to create a actions. My application is what? I need to increment. I need to decrement. One counter value is 0 initially. Whenever I'm going to click the increment, I need to increment. Whenever I'm going to click the decrement, I need to decrement. Of course, you can able to do this one in a single component. But there is a multiple components are there. Different kind of components are also same counter value, updated value. If I want to access, I need to use the Redux. So that's the purpose. What I'm doing, I need to define the actions. Here we need to define the actions. Actions means what? What you are doing? I want to increment is the one action, decrement is the action, or withdraw the money, deposit the money. This is the actions. Okay. We need to create a one file. We need to create a one file. Create a new file. That file name you can give action types.js and define the action. Action means what kind of things you need. That file level you need to specify export, constant, increment equal to. I'm going to specify increment. This is the one kind of action. Increment is action. This keyword I'm going to be accessing some other kind of component level that is an export I'm using. Export here also export constant. I'm going to providing here what? Decrement equal to. I need to provide what? Decrement. This is the way you need to define first the actions. We are going to develop in the application. First, I'm going to writing here steps. as usual. Previously, how I'm going to explain same kind of way. Okay. Now here, now we need to create a action corresponding to the action types. Actions are some kind of payload of information that send data from your application to your store. Store level count is there. Counter is there. Store is the, for example, forget about this application, generalized your understanding purpose. Some kind of Amazon or something, you are going to place the order. Whenever you are going to place the order, you are able to see the tracking, right? What it is showing that one, that a product is packed, the product is go to the store, right? Once it is reached your nearby your store, then dispatching the product like that, you can able to see that one, right? So that means here products, all the products, different kind of products who are ordered, those products in the Hyderabad location, so and so store level, it is going to place first. From that store, you are going to distribute it to the different kind of regions, different kind of places, right? Similarly, here also store level counter is there. Counter is the one variable. That variable value initially 0 or amount is there. Initially 0. That value I need to increment or decrement, whatever the deposit or withdraw. You need to provide that kind of functionalities. Okay. So that is the purpose. Create action I'm going to using. Okay. We need to create a actions. So this actions where I need to create src level actions.js. You need to create. How to create? I'm writing here import star as action types from where I need to get that action type. Action types. So this is the way first import statement is required. After that, we need to write here export constant increment equal to array type of function. This increment function is fixed. That the reason constant. Export, I need to access this method another kind of component level. That's why components, not only for a component, inside the component, any kind of function also, if you want to export, you can use the export keyword. Okay. Export constant increment. Here we need to define open flower bracket and close the flower bracket. Here you need to define return statement. Return, open the flower bracket and close the flower bracket. Okay. Within that, I need to provide type. The type is what? Action type. Action types dot increment. That constant we are going to using. Similarly, we need to put the semicolon here and here also. Similarly, I need to define decrement also. Export constant decrement equal to array type of function. Open the flower bracket and close the flower bracket. Inside we need to write what? Return. Open the flower bracket and close the flower bracket and put the semicolon. Inside type. What is the type? Action types dot. We need to provide what? Decrement. This is the way we need to define. This is the actions. Actually, we are going to declare here that increment and decrement actual functionality. We are defining the actions level. I'm stressing and I'm going to explain this one. Okay. Next, we need to provide what? Reducer. Okay. Application state changes purpose. This reducer is required. So that is the purpose. Here reduce how to create. We need to create src level. We need to create reducer.js file. We need to create. How to create? We need to use actions also here also. So that's the reason I need to provide here import star as action types from we need to provide here what? Action types. This is the first import statement is required. After that, here we need to initialize the state. How to initialize? Constant. I'm going to providing here initialize or initial state equal to initial state is an object. That's why I'm going to use in the flower bracket. Here we need to define the counter 0, counter or balance or amount to whatever you want, you can provide. This is the basic application. That's the reason I'm going to use in the counter. So initially counter value is what? 0. Where I'm going to define this one? Reducer level. That reducer is we are going to declare store. Okay. So first we need to define the initial state. At once it is difficult to understand entire React application level this concept. Multiple times I'm going to explain. Then you can get the more clarity. One or two applications if you are going to developing, you can get the more clarity. But you need to follow these steps. First we are defining what? Initial state. After that, here reducer level, we need to create here constant reducer equal to this reducer level, we need to define the state. The state is what? Initial state only. Initially, whatever the state is there, the state we are going to using, that is the one parameter. After that, we need to specify the action. Action means increment or decrement is the action. So these are the two parameters. First, we need to provide reducer level. We need to define this kind of way first. Open the arrow type of function. This is the reducer kind of function. This function level based on the action, I need to change this initial state value. Initial state is nothing but a counter value. So based on this action type, what is the action type? Increment or decrement or withdraw or deposit, whatever. But in this particular application, I'm using increment and decrement only. Okay. So the action type based, I need to increment and decrement this counter value, right? So that is the purpose. I need to use a switch case. Switch I'm going to using switch. I need to pass here action dot type. What is the action type? Increment or decrement or based on that, I need to perform the action. So that's the reason switch case I'm going to define. This switch case level, I need to define case. Switch level case is there. Action types dot increment. That is the value, constant value. Then I'm going to return. I'm going to using here return whatever the state value is there, counter value. I'm going to using that one. After that, comma counter. That counter value I need to change state dot counter plus 1. It is going to incrementing that one. This is the way we are going to define the case. Now how to define the case 2? Another kind of case action types dot decrement. It return state value spread operator. I'm using state comma. Whenever I'm using spread operator, you can able to get the state value, counter value. Okay. So that counter value I need to change state dot counter minus 1 decrementing. This is the way we are going to providing. Suppose default value. This is the case. Default is return the state, initial state, whatever it is there, that one it is going to returning this one. Okay. Here we need to provide this reducer I need to use in the store, right? That is the purpose. Export default reducer. This is the way we are going to define. Okay. Now this reducer is increment or decrement kind of functionalities are available. Now we need to concentrating on what? Store. We need to create a store, Redux store I need to define. Okay. So that is the purpose. The store is I need to create in the index.js level. We are going to creating. Okay. Store we are creating within index.js file. Okay. We are not creating any separate kind of file. So index.js level only we are going to define. Okay. So index.js level important already some of the import statements are there along with that one. What are the import statements are there? Import React from React library by default is there. Next import React DOM from React DOM. That kind of one is also already it is available. Okay, index.js level. Here we need to add create store import here flower bracket level create store. Sometimes it is showing strike it out. Some new versions level people are using create store place level some other kind of thing in the coming versions level. That reason might be showing the strike it out kind of way. Okay, once I'm developing you can able to understand. Here we are going to using Redux. Where it is available create store Redux library level it is that one I need to import. Next I want to connect here some state to my user interface connection purpose we need to use provider. So that is the purpose what I need to do here I need to provide provider also import provider that is also where it is available from React where it is available from React Redux level it is that one also I need to use. Generally import app is also there by default it is available this kind of one also my index.js level it is available this kind of import statement. Here additionally we are going to add in the create store provider kind of one and reducer kind of one I need to import here. So first index.js level these are the input statements are required. You need to check your application level these imports are you are properly added or not. This is the first one. Then how to define the store is required, right? So that's the reason constant store equal to create store and we need to pass create store level reducer. We are going to pass in the reducer. The reducer level what it is there increment and decrement kind of functionalities are there. Okay, so that is the purpose we are going to define that one. And by default what it is there some DOM dot render kind of method is there, right? Render kind of method is there. This method inside what it is there provider. This is the provider and we need to specify provider space store equal to store value we need to pass. This is the provider and surround with the app. So here provider we need to close P capital. Okay, here we need to provide app. This is the way we need to declare index.js. After that we need to provide here user interface. User interface is required. So create the counter component. This counter component is what? User interface, your understanding purpose UI. Where I need to create that one. You can create a separate component folder or else basic application that is in SRC level only. I'm going to create a counter.js. How to create? Import React from React. After that, import we need to connect. We need to use what? Connect. Where it is available? React Redux level it is there. From React Redux kind of library. These are all important. Import. What are the constants we are defined? Actions level. What are the methods we are defined? Increment or decrement, right? So here increment, comma, decrement, increment, comma, decrement from where it is available, actions. This is the import statements are required, user interface level. After that, you can create a arrow type of function, counter equal to arrow type of function we need to define, right? Opening and closing. Here we need to pass. Within that, I need to pass here counter, comma, increment, comma, decrement, comma, decrement. We are going to passing. Based on that, I need to perform the operation. Here return statement is required. Return. This return statement level, one root element is required now. So that root element, what are the root element? Div tag I'm going to using, div opening and closing the div. Okay, so within that I need to define the whatever the actual value is there, counter value I need to display. So counter I'm going to display as it is, whatever the value is there, store value it is going to get. After that I need to provide here button. I need to provide here what? Button I need to provide. This button is on click event I'm going to using. This on click level I need to use what? Increment I'm going to using. So that button name also increment I'm going to providing, and I need to close button. Similarly I need to provide what? Decrement kind of button also. So here we need to provide decrement instead of going to increment. Here I need to provide decrement. So here I need to provide decrement. This is the way we are going to creating. After finishing this one, div tag is finishing, and we are going to define this counter. One more important thing also we need to attach. What that one is, we need to map your store and your component. That is the purpose. Constant map state to props equal to state array type of function we are going to define. Array type of function we need to define. Within that return statement we need to use return. We need to use open the flower bracket and close the flower bracket. Here we need to provide counter state dot counter we are going to declare. This is the mapping purpose. We need to define this one. Whatever the counter value is there, which component you are using, that component level counter value we need to provide through the props. That is the purpose. There is another one is, this is the map props only we are going to define. This props we need to dispatch. That is the purpose. One more also we need to write here. Constant map dispatch. To props equal to we need to use what? Dispatch. What is the purpose of I'm writing this one? Here your event through store communication purpose, this dispatch also I'm going to creating here. That is the one. Dispatch is communicating purpose. Once it is developing this diagram and that application I'm going to map, so that you can able to understand how it is going to working. One session level it is difficult, just blindly follow. Again next session level also I'm going to explaining, and I'm going to replacing increment, decrement, place level, some other kind of terminology I'm using, other kind of names I'm using, and one more application also we are going to discussing. Then we can get the more clarity. Okay. But here, at least some sort of the knowledge you need to gain. Here we need to use dispatch equal to array type of function opening and closing. We need to define. Okay, we need to put the semicolon. Within that, what is required? Return, open the flower bracket and close the flower bracket, put the semicolon. Here we need to provide what? Increment. We need to provide what? Array type of function, and we need to call dispatch. We need to dispatch the increment function. Increment. You need to pass increment type of function, this one. Okay, put the semicolon. Similarly, you need to call here decrement also. You need to call decrement. The decrement is also one kind of arrow type of function. We need to dispatch and we need to call decrement kind of function. You need to provide this kind of way. After that, you need to export this one. Export default connect, and we need to pass here map state to props. I need to pass that one. Map state to props, comma. After that, map dispatcher props, map dispatch to props. We need to pass this one. After that, we need to provide here counter component. This is the way we need to develop counter.js. Okay. This is the way we need to develop counter.js. This counter I need to call into the where app.js. How to write the app.js? Already it is generating. Even though recollect, import, react from React library. This is the common for every component. After that, I need to access the counter in the app. That is the purpose. Counter I need to import. So import counter from. I need to provide what? Counter. Next, I need to use array type of function. App equal to normal kind of function, also not a problem. So within that, what it is, the return statement is there. Return opening and closing. Within this return level, what is the root element? Div tag is available. Div tag is available. Here we need to close the div tag and we need to import that counter, right? So component counter slash, this is the way we are going to providing, and one of the statement is there, every component level. What is that one? Export default app. So this is the way it is there. This kind of application, if I want to test in the command prompt level, counter app level, we need to use what? npm start. These are the steps we need to follow to understand Redux concept. Okay.